Okay, so the first client is Eric Borby, Dollar Store, Havertown, Pennsylvania. And where are we at with this deal?
We have one deal that's working.
Okay, what is it, Whole Foods?
The Whole Foods Plaza is the one that's working good. We have other offers out, but we've been rejected on 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Whole Foods remains our best option at this point, which Eric likes that site.
Okay. So the other one is McDade Mall.
McDade, we're not going to...
And call Jennifer to check on offers. Looks like we need a response.
No, we've got the response, Jeff. We're not going to make that deal with Jennifer.
Why is that?
Because we were bidding against a national tenant and they submitted a better offer.
Okay.
And she had 2 spaces, one 4,000 feet and one 7,000 feet. And she had better offers from a national tenant. She did have another center, but that's not going to work either, does it?
So she had 4,000 and 7,000. Is the national tenant going to take both of them?
No, the national tenant, she was going to have one space that was going to be 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
And the 4,000 is too big.
So looking at the site at a glance, Family Dollar 1.4 miles away, they're not really a great competitor. Big Kmart, that's good. Marshalls is good. Ross is good. $29 all in is expensive for PA. But are either one of the spaces available or no?
Well, the 4,000 foot is available, but that's too big for our client.
Okay.
They were dividing the 7,000 foot.
And the client wants how much?
He says 2,000 foot.
So can they subdivide the 4?
They won't. They don't want to subdivide the 4.
Okay.
What's his money like? Can we get him close, Jim? 4?
Let's just take a look at where is the space here. This is the 7,000 right next. C2A is 3,160 square feet.
Well, I don't know that that's the same space that's presently available, because what they have right now is 4,000 feet and 7,000 feet. And they're going to divide the 7,000 feet, but she says she has a national tenant for that space.
Yeah, I don't see one unless it's, Dots ice cream, or whatever it is, ice cream like. But I don't see another one unless it's C2A, which is 3,200 square feet. So you have to get a handle on that, right? And then that space would look pretty good, meaning that it's within walking distance of Kmart. So that's always preferred. And you also have Ross and Marshalls right next door, so that could be real good if we can get the right economics. And just take a look at their money real quick and just see. Looking at the finance module, looks like they have all sorts of money, John. Well, no, maybe not. Store cost is 89. Working capital, looks like they're 32,000 short. Although with seed, yeah, 80 for both. But right now, they're only pre-approved for 49.
What's that lineup above?
Yeah, she's
Cash.
That's John LaFronz sister.
Yeah.
It's not close. They have close names.
So I'm going to call the finance director and see if, I wonder if they're going to get more than the 49,000. If they get more than the 49, then maybe we make it. Although it's still going to be tight.
Those rents are necessarily real high for that area.
Yeah,
We've
but
run
they're-
into some higher rents.
You know, they're pricey enough, 29 bucks all in is, it's expensive enough, but you really have almost three, you know, one good anchor and two strong junior anchors right there. So I think the business potential would be really good.
Well, if that
And-
one is really 3,100 and not 4,000, but they're telling us 4. Maybe we could do the 2 steps, Jim, and get them to 3,000 from 2.
Mhm. So I'm gonna send a note out to the finance director to see if they're gonna end up getting more money. And then that would help us. And the other case, they want 2,000 square feet, right?
Yes.
And right now, they're short, in the finance queue, they're short 32,000. So they may have to skinny it down to 1,500 square feet. So if that happens, see, you know, and the landlord doesn't want to put up a demising wall, right? But if we do,
You could.
if we would pay for that, you know, non-load bearing, maybe 5,000 or so, which is a lot of money.
You know, or do a gondola wall. I know you're not a big fan of those, but we can
Yeah,
do it.
I mean, you could, it's just that they're gonna pay more rent than what they can
Yeah.
fill out. So they're gonna have a lot of unproductive
How would
space.
they, can you scroll down to the bottom, see what funding they had when they were released, Jim? On the bottom of the notes, I'm sorry. To the very first.
Well, I mean, they were pre-approved for 80.
So it's probably.
That's what was gonna get them over the
They
top.
use the cash too, so it'd be
Yeah.
80/30 would be 110.
Yeah, 115. And they needed 118, so that would've got them where they needed to be. But we can even do, if we had to, do a 1,000 square foot package and then do another, you know, 500 square foot for 8,000. I think what I would do here is negotiate this. And I would negotiate with the landlord demising the space, partitioning the walls to 1,500 square feet or thereabouts.
Assuming it's
You know.
3,000.
Yeah,
You gotta confirm that it's actually 3,000 because they're telling you it's 4.
is it worthy of a call to see if they have any more money?
Yeah. Who's got the finance? I'll check with them right down here. Hey, Dave.
Let's see.
We're talking about Borby. Eric Borby, that he was pre-qualified.
Okay, so finance will see if the client can get additional funds to do 3,200 square foot in the Kmart Center. And other than that, we will go back and what is the number 2 ranked site, Austin?
Call Whole Foods #1.
Yeah, Whole Foods is definitely number 1. We had,
So let's look at that. Okay, so otherwise being negotiated. Space is 2 doors down from Whole Foods, so it's good. Again, good convenient location. So that works. We'll go up and click on the site at a glance form, the site bundle. And the first page there is the site at a glance, which gives us all the basic information. So a Dollar Plus store 1.7 miles away, a Dollar Tree 1.6. That's a little close, you know, population within a mile 17,000, then it turns out to 163. Rent is 42. Where are you at right now with the negotiation?
I offered them 30 plus can.
Yeah, so 35. I don't think that gets it.
Is they're gonna come back? Not gonna land at 30.
I'm gonna upsell her, Carl, because that's such a good spot, and she's got the money.
Yeah, very busy. But at 35 bucks, it seems like the rent is gonna be too high. So if we're gonna try something with this, with this landlord, and the triple nets are $5.50. I mean, in reality, I think we probably want to be in all in, maybe at $32. So I would revisit your LOI and go back. And if we lose it, we lose it. But at 35, 40 bucks all in, it's not going to be a good situation. Then I would much rather go into that Kmart, because that's a dollar store shopper, and Ross and Marshalls are also dollar store shoppers, so that other space would look too good. Okay? So put a note in there. Any other sites you want us to look at for this client?
No, because we got rejected on the offers we put out. We just got rejected on one today, and we got rejected previously on the other.
For what reason?
One again, they said was a national credit tenant.
Okay.
And the other one, he said, the landlord's looking at another offer. They were working that offer before we uploaded the site. And he sent me a note today, and he said the landlord's decided to go with the other offer.
So in that case, how about if we go back and offer more money?
We can do that.
Well, why not? Because we're gonna lose it anyway, right?
Yes.
So, and I don't want to look at this, but were the rents low enough?
None of these rents have been low. This has been a very expensive
So if it's premium rent, let it go. If there's some wiggle room in the rent, go back and just submit another LOI for another $2 or $3 a square and see if that gets their attention. The one with the national tenant, follow up like every 10 days until the lease is executed, because quite often the deals fall out. They think they have a tenant, but national tenants they want it for free. So, until the deal's done, we're still in the game. Okay?
Yes.
And in the meanwhile, we have to really focus on the Kmart Center. Now, there's a Walmart Center at East Stone Crossing. So, and what the note says here is that the broker's only going to allow us to bid if her other deals fall through.
Right. It's presently a Radio Shack is in there.
And they're moving out.
And I guess.
Yes.
I mean, they're still physically in there.
Yeah, but the note says Radio Shack is moving out. Jennifer's also working on some deals of her own.
Yes.
So why not submit a LOI? And you should.
Yes.
If the space looks good, but just get it in. If we wait, we know we're not going to get it, right?
Right.
Two independent dollar stores within 2 miles, 17,000 in population within the mile. That looks good. And I don't know where the space is. So it's if it is over here by ShopRite within walking distance, that would be preferred, obviously. But let's take a look at this center also, okay? So we'll do that. just making a note about the Kmart Center needs to be demised. Okay, so that's Borby. So there's a few options there. Next client is Borgia. So how we doing with him?
I just got his application back yesterday. I need to refax it. His wife didn't sign it. They want the wife to sign the application also.
Okay.
But on Harper Hills.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how far is the deal? Harper Hills Common?
Yes.
Okay.
Presumably, if he passes the application process, our deal's done.
Cummins, North Carolina. No Pure Dollar Store. The closest one is 1.6 miles away. It's a Harris Teeter grocery store, $18 all in. So that all seems to make sense at this stage. And then the site is over on the side.
No, that space
Okay.
got leased before we got
Yeah,
there.
let me see.
There we go, number 12.
So in this case, it's not within walking distance to the grocery store, which makes it less desirable. But with the lack of competition, if we can get the rents down low enough, then, you know, it would be viable. So we'll see what happens with it. Do you have an LOI in now?
Yes.
Have you got a response at this point?
Yes, we're just waiting for if the application goes through, our deal should be made.
What rent, do you remember it?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It says, even with the $12 square foot, what this is TI money.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that there's a lot of tenant improvement work to be done. Your note says that even at $12 a square foot for TI, Jose would have substantial out-of-pocket costs.
Well, that was, actually, that was for the other unit, number
Okay.
5, I believe it was, which was built out as a restaurant. And that space wouldn't have worked, but number 12 became available. And that was a former clothing store, it's all open. And
Okay. Okay, so put a note in there and see what happens. Okay. The only other thing I'm going to look at real quick is just go into the site bundle and look at where the competition is. I want to see where the Dollar Tree is. Look at the space. It's pretty much ready to go.
Pictures.
Yeah, nice. Very clean, almost no tenant improvement work.
Was he thinking about changing out the floor or no?
that was the only consideration, whether he would change the floor out or not.
Okay. And again, if they carpet, you know, $1 a square foot, they got $1,000, $1,500 in carpet, so it's not bad. The Dollar Tree, that's 1.6 miles away, I'm looking at the competition map, is on the other side of the expressway, which might create a natural barrier. I don't know if it does or not. But it's something to find out from the client. Okay. Chandler, Kevin, let me see, yeah, Kevin Chandler,
He's on hold, I think.
He's on hold.
wait there, and what's his deal? Why is he on hold?
I don't think he's ever made a finance role application.
Okay. Next one is Patel.
And he's going to look at two sites. One is in Gray Shell,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is an existing location.
Okay.
And he's to go, I believe, Thursday. He's available Thursday and Friday all day. And I think he's going Thursday.
Okay. And he's new in real estate, right?
Yes.
Okay. The site that is not in Gray Shell, is that Arlington Green? Let me just click on it and see. So Walmart Center, which is always great. Rent at 37, pricey. Akron, Ohio, pretty pricey. So it doesn't look like there's anything adjoining Walmart. We'll just get to the site plan.
I think he's smaller though. Okay, cool.
Is it over here?
Wait, see where it says site? Yeah.
Yeah, over in this area. Okay. Okay, so we'll see. Good thing again is Walmart generates a lot of traffic, and there's a Kohl's department store, Home Depot, so it's a busy area. Do you know the spot?
Well, looking at it, either one of those two, I mean, whichever one he would prefer, after he sees it, we'll go after.
Okay. And the other one's Gray Shell, so that'll be a harder deal to make.
This is
Yeah, the other, what's that?
This is the
The
Gray
Gray
Shell.
Shell, okay. So let's look at the other one, Main Parkway Plaza.
Come over to this side. Come over to one.
So this is a strip center, 5,000 within a mile, 70,000 within 3, so the 5,000 isn't very good. But the asking rents are $13.75, so that's good. And it shows a Dollar Tree 0.8 of a mile away,
Yeah.
right?
It's a little close.
Yeah. But I think I put a note in last week about if you can get the rents down.
I think you wanted it at 9,
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
I think I made my offer at 8.
Yeah, okay. Did you get a response yet?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't, you know what, I wrote this offer, I haven't submitted it yet, I wanted him to see it first. He's only got 2 locations.
Yeah, but you wanted him to see the site?
Yeah,
Okay.
make sure he's
Okay.
gonna go with it.
Okay.
Well, he seemed very responsive, he was gonna get right out and,
Yeah, okay. So the next one is Ramen, Arlington, Virginia. They're on hold, so we'll go to the next one, which is Schilling. We talked about them.
that's a real disappointment.
And then Janet. Well, I don't know if it is. They're making a decision, so let the process work a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and then we'll see. So John, I think that's all we have for
Okay, yeah.
John,
dollar stores.
Janice Thomas, but we're close with her now.
Actually, yeah, I believe we might be closing in on her a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we have her, you know, on a schedule tentatively for this week. So with Janice Thomas, what has to happen in order to finish?
Okay, she won't finish this week, I don't think, but the landlord wanted to meet her to decide whether he was gonna spend the money to take out the office space, like the unit, and that's the other question I have for you. You want pictures on these. but they're gonna tear that out.
Mm-hmm.
So do you still want the pictures? But it's built out as an attorney's office. And then she met with the landlord's representative last week, and he told me that he thinks everything is gonna be good. He's just waiting to hear from him. He's been out of town, I guess, and he hasn't heard back from him. I mean, I called him yesterday, I called him today.
Okay.
Okay.
And as of today, he says, you know, he hasn't heard back, but he says he's been working with him for a long time. And he's done a lot of his leasing, and he said he sold him the center, he said. And he thinks that we have the deal, so
Okay.
that's as much reassurance as I've got.
Mm-hmm.
How much work in that space? Is there a lot of work to be done?
Yes, there's offices built out.
And the landlord's gonna do it
The
all?
landlord, that's was the hook in the deal. I wanted the landlord to do it, 'cause
Yeah, and maybe deliver the end of May, middle of May.
maybe they should, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay, John,
Thank you,
thanks.
John.
So the next one is yogurt store client, Jami.
Chami, she is going tomorrow. Her uncle lives in DC
Okay,
and has 5 restaurants or 5 businesses, I'm not sure which.
okay,
And he's going to look at the 2 of the locations, Broadlands
mm-hmm,
and what's our other new one? Go up one, please. And that Bellwood.
okay,
Bellwood. Bellwood they really like. There's a little problem there that there's an existing Baskin Robbins.
mm-hmm,
So the landlord he wants to ask his tenant, it's a local owner, he wants to ask his tenant if it's all right if they move the yogurt store in.
yeah.
And
So we can assume the answer is gonna be no. Because why would anybody want competition in a shopping center? But they'll ask and then we'll find out, but I can't imagine that the tenant would allow that. So Broadlands. Take a quick look at that. Here's Teeter again. Rubino's Restaurant. Okay, so this is the one that's down on the other end of the shopping center. And the client likes it. The grocery store is way on the right, the space is way on the left side of the shopping center, but there's very little competition. And here the customer can put tables outside, right?
Yes.
So that's a plus. And she's gonna look at it tomorrow.
With her uncle.
Yeah, so let me know after she calls you, and we'll see what we need to do to move this forward. And in the meantime, are we finding any other locations?
Nothing that they've liked. They've rejected most of the locations, and actually we had a traveling site locator with her,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, and he agreed that some of the centers were not really
Right.
of the type you want to.
And why aren't we finding locations there?
Well, the market seems to have an abundance of yogurt stores
Right.
or some variation.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a saturated market, and we tried to expand her search area, right, to the best of our ability. And that's about all that we can do. Did we hire a local broker at this point?
No, we haven't hired a local broker yet.
Okay, should we?
I'm wondering, the fellow we have the offer in with, Dallin, that represents this landlord,
Mm-hmm.
we might want to hire him. He seems to have quite a few listings. And maybe we hire him as a broker if he'll take it.
Yeah, but the policy is, we go out 30 days. We're not hitting sites that where it appears as though we're going to close, then we hire a local broker. And of course, we'll get the customer, the client, on the traveling site locator list also. So if Sanford and Rashidi have somebody, TSL over in that area, then they'll stop in and work this client again. Okay? But let's get the local broker hired now,
Okay.
okay? Okay, good.
Two that are.
Janik,
Oh, yes, I talked to Kevin Guffey, he's the landlord for the property at Bishop's Avenue.
right,
And he told me he should have the lease today or tomorrow to me.
okay,
That
good.
was yesterday, he said that. But we haven't been pushing him to get it.
Because the customer needs more time to get their money in the
They
bank.
have 60, they have, I think, 50 and 10, if I remember correctly.
Right,
And that's his money, and now they're making an application on her behalf,
okay,
and I don't think her money is in yet. So, I mean, this deal's been kind of shaped up. I could have put a press on him to get it out, but I don't want to get too far ahead of the funding.
right, okay. So that's good, so we're moving that forward nicely. And so hopefully in 2 weeks we can close. The customer will have the cash so we can have them execute the lease agreement. And is the client real anxious to sign the lease?
I think so. I mean, I think she's anxious,
Is she okay waiting until all the cash is in the bank before she signs?
well, we had the discussion that,
Right.
the money's not in yet, and,
Right, yeah, we don't recommend it,
Right.
so, okay. And then Norris, you had done, and then the client found a couple other locations, so he's out looking at those. How is that panning out?
Norris is pretty steadfast about wanting to wait until the end of the month to see what happens at SR Ranch, which is where there's a post office location
That's close by. Was it in that strip center where
It was a
the
part of the strip center, even though the center's it looks like the center's behind, it's really the center's in front.
okay,
It just, on the layout, it shows different, but
okay,
he really wants in that center now. He wants to find out if he can have that space. And what we have in front of that agent for the landlord is that, even if we don't get that space, if the post office moves out, we'd like to move, if you're not doing another postal site, we'd like the postal site even in the other portion of the center.
right.
Because he has, I think, a 900-foot unit that we could take.
Yeah, so you got 19,000 population within a mile. You have a competitor 1.1 mile away. And then you have a FedEx office a half a mile away. So that's tough.
Well, it looks like FedEx actually puts other FedEx and UPS buildings so willing to go like within a half a mile of each other.
Yeah, but when there's a big population,
Because I kind of looked at that, the UPS sites are within a half a mile of each other. So I was
yeah,
thinking.
but I mean that's their policy, and it doesn't mean that they're making money.
does it-
right.
I mean, that's
You
our
want to
policy.
put a client in a trade area where they don't have competition. So this one, I can tell you that I would not recommend it. So if the client wants to move forward, we'll have them sign a "we don't recommend" letter. Okay?
Okay.
Because I don't think it's
That's on the
viable.
SR Ranch, yes.
SR Ranch.
SR Ranch.
FedEx office a half a mile, and that's a big box. UPS store 0.6 miles. Postal annex at 1.1 mile. And again, you only have 19,000 population.
It's
So,
there's a
You know.
mailbox store about every half a block,
and for mailbox stores, the average income
half a mile.
is important. You have 98,000 average household income, so it's a higher income area. So there are more home-based businesses and small business owners there that need mailbox stores, so that's positive. But the competition just outweighs the rest of it. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay?
I agree completely.
Okay. And then are there any other locations that he also wants to visit?
We'd put offers in, we had the deal made.
Right, and that deal is still sitting there, right?
Kind of, but I had to tell the guys that, I mean, they were gonna figure it out anyway. It'd been a couple weeks since he'd gotten,
Right.
involvement. And,
So he wanted to wait till the end of the month to find out about SR Ranch.
there's a little bit of a problem on some of the other sites. Vic Gospel with Collier's International has very actively listed a lot of the property in that area. And he's the guy that we kept on hold for a rather lengthy duration. And I don't want to, through too many offers to have them all sitting on his desk, or he's not going to take us seriously.
I think that's something that you set the stage with the client, is that when we're moving forward, you have to be ready, if we get the right terms and conditions, you gotta be ready to move forward and get the lease signed. Because we're irritating these brokers, they're doing a lot of work on it. Just like we're doing a lot of work on the deal. And so you have to, in your mind, you have to make that commitment that if we hit the economics, I'll go forward and I'll take the space. And, okay.
Well, I have him committed at the end of the month that he will make a decision on.
And I would call the landlord where we have the deal made and let them know that it's just a couple more days.
Yes.
And
you're right.
this other site the guy was interested in, that this site actually doesn't look very good. I believe that we're gonna come back and take the space, but I will, I'll let you know, we have a April 30th deadline.